It just suffered because Crystal Skull took place. They didn't film it for like 20 years. Like, when did it come out? Like 2008 or something
8,
like
9,
that?
10-ish?
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it came out
remember.
20 years after the last one. You had this huge jump in special effects technology when everybody was really like vibing with the classic live
I love
stuff.
the practical effects in
Yeah.
this movie.
So you want to go into that? We'll go into the effects next,
Like,
or you want to do directing?
no, dude, let's do effects.
Okay, so we'll go into the effects or the effects. The practical effects in Indiana Jones, they are for the time great set pieces. Like Spielberg and George Lucas mesh really well together when they design set pieces. Like everything feels great. The German castle feels great. The college feels organic.
Dude, even the where they have the boat chase scene, the
Yeah.
giant propeller.
Why is that halfway out of the water?
I
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I know.
That'll be in the
It's
bloopers. But
supposed-
like,
it's supposed
I was
to
just
be-
like, why?
It's supposed to be under the
But like
water.
that was back when they filmed on location, so
Yeah.
they were actually in probably Venice.
I actually looked this up. So the locations they actually said they were in,
Mm-hmm.
they actually were there.
So they were in Venice,
They were
in Germany,
At
in
least what I looked up on IMDb.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's another thing too. Now it just seems like they just throw actors in front of
A green screen.
green screen or
and
a
it
blue
doesn't
screen.
work.
And that's another thing too, because we got to talk about like the lighting and all that stuff, because that's got to be in. We're talking about that later, but the everything is lit so flat now, and it's so dark, and it's because there's a green screen. They light everything from above.
They don't need to. Everything's strictly down. Whereas Indiana Jones, like take for example in Last Crusade when they're in the German castle, when he's getting his dad, like you can see where the light is coming from the camera or from like what's it called, a sconce or something, or the like a candle holder sconce. Like a castle camera. You can see where the light's casting, so there's shadow everywhere.
And there's light. I know Spielberg is like really famous for this. He always has like almost like an overblown backlight to kind of like I don't know. It kind of almost has this like cool effect, almost like it like. It's hard to explain. I can't. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where there's this like really blaring backlight, where it just kind of blows out the back, but it just kind of makes it almost look
fuzzy.
Like no, it kind of lights it a certain way where it feels real, but it doesn't feel real. It almost I have to actually physically show you.
We might edit in film sequences to come right here during.
I don't know what words I want to use, but it almost makes it more cinematic, I guess.
It feels more like a film.
It feels like you're watching a film.
Okay.
Yeah, where nowadays it just seems like they light things from the front and from above with like LED lights or something like that, and it just sometimes it feels flat. And I actually think actors in general, when they're actually at a location, they actually can get more into character. Because we were talking about with Lord of the Rings, about Ian McKellen on The Hobbit, he was crying.
He hated it.
Because he was like in tears because he didn't know where he was supposed to look, this, that. There was no person to talk to, at least.
Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings, they were actually filming on location. Sets. Now, there were green screens. There were,
but they were still actors there. It wasn't just one guy.
And it's sort of, I don't know. This movie, when I was watching it, I went on like a little tangent. Again, I watched other Spielberg movies just to kind of get some ideas for other scenes shot and things like that. But when I rewatched this movie last week in preparing for this episode, I almost anything shot now, especially on Netflix, looks like garbage.
Oh, I hate Netflix movies.
It looks like it looks like garbage to me.
It looks generic.
It's so generic.
Everything looks generic. Whereas like
I don't want to say that because again, like
there's some good ones. I
don't want to say it looks like garbage because a lot of people work on it. I shouldn't use that word.
Okay, fair.
But it just
it looks like they took the easy way out.
It looks like you're watching a piece of history.
Yeah.
When you're watching this movie, the colors are so vibrant, the light is so rich, and again, there's not.
It plays into the scene.
You don't need to be Daniel Day-Lewis to be an actor in this movie, but actor
he'd be phenomenal if he was in this movie.
He would be, but Harrison Ford, the one thing, and I think like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, like guys like that were like the leading man action star, they're not going to win an Oscar. I think Harrison Ford actually was nominated for an Oscar for Witness.
Okay.
But
not The Fugitive.
Not The Fugitive. No, that's such a great movie. Tommy Lee Jones won the Oscar for that.
Of course he did.
But they're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
He's a method. Like he's in it the whole way.
But guys like Harrison Ford, they have such charisma. They have
Riz, as the kids say.
Yeah, they have got charisma. There's this physical presence. They're physical actors. He's a physical actor.
Harrison Ford's a physical actor, and for the character, he's exactly what it needed to be.
And he's a man's man. That's another thing. That's another thing too. There's no man's anymore.
No, they got rid of those.
There's no rugged guy. I mean, this dude, he's not muscular. He's not like ripped in shape.
No, he's.
But
you see it. He like pops off his shirt and he's got chest hair. He doesn't have a six pack, but he's got like a guy who goes out and does stuff.
He gets shit done.
Like he gets shit done. Like he's not jacked. He's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. But he's like, yeah, I believe this guy could do these stunts. It's
like even in like Die Hard, dude's got like just a white.
Just a white wife beater.
Yeah, white beater.
And he's just like,
and no shoes, and he's got some chest hair, and he's balding.
Yep.
There's no leading actor that's balding anymore, except maybe Jason Statham because he's.
I think he's just been bald forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't see that anymore.
No.
And I want that back.
It's the stuff that was filmed, like the sets, like you're talking about, the lighting, the atmosphere for it. The effects all tie into like I'm accounting those are effects, right? Like the lighting and everything would count as like the effects, or is that?
Well, I would count it. I mean, the lighting is lighting.
Okay.
I guess it goes more with the cinematography, but lighting is just lighting.
Okay, but it all comes down to like when they're on set locations, when they're doing the stunts, you actually see them doing stunts.
Yeah.
They're jumping from boats, jumping from cars. When the horse runs out from under him in the beginning, he jumps and falls down.
Dude, you remember in the beginning of the scene where he steals the cross, young Indiana Jones like,
that's what I'm talking about. Like the horse moves, and he's just like, "Fuck you."
The horse just shows up, and then the bad guys.
He whistles, and the car comes over like it was there the whole time.
Like, why is there a car here?
Don't know, but like it all comes together. Like the scene on the tank when they're fighting on the tank is fantastic. The scene where he's in the German castle and he takes his whip and he slides across the line.
It's not perfectly choreographed because nowadays everything.
It doesn't need to be.
But it feels like a real fight.
Exactly, like when he's being dumb, for better lack of word, dumb.
It's a sloppy fight.
You're like he's doing the stuff. He's doing the real thing.
Yeah, like because nowadays it just seems
cut and paste.
It seems like they. Everything has to be perfectly.
Like you have to, like I'm this apex person that gets it done.
This punch is going to be here, and you got to catch the punch here, and and it seems robotic. Where this is like, I just need you to punch this guy. Yeah, and then you're going to fall.
I love the sound effects too.
Yeah, it's like the snapping of wood.
You get punching sound effects, and it's great.
But that's what I love about that. It feels. Because
you feel like you're there. You feel like you're in the shot.
I've never been in a physical altercation like that, but every time I've seen or have heard, it's usually like if it's two guys fighting. A lot of times, no punch is actually thrown. They're
just wrestling.
They're rolling on the ground.
Which he's on the tank. He's like, oh.
And then after a while, when they get tired, they're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. It's fine. But like, okay, so like effects wise, like it's 1980s effects. Everything was still done in real time. CG wasn't that. I don't think there's any CG in the movie outside of like the Grail scene.
Well, I think the first computer effect actually was in Young Indiana Jones. It's what there was like a whatchamacallit, the oh my god, the glass in churches. What's that called? Oh my god!
It's colored glass.
Yeah. We're gonna get made fun of on that one.
We're not archaeologists.
Yeah, we're not. But I guess there was a figure that came out of the glass, and he fought young Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I guess that was technically the first CGI'd computer-generated image on a screen. Another great computer-generated image in the '80s. Did you ever see The Abyss?
No, you told me to watch it.
Dude, there's some pretty badass ones in there. But that also has practical effects with CGI, blending them together.
But yet you know how to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's why these movies work, is because Spielberg and Lucas at the time are probably the two most dominant directors in Hollywood.
Well, one guy has I think didn't George Lucas after Star Wars, didn't he just kind of get into the tech world?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He created Industrial Lights and Magic.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying Crystal Skull wasn't as good, because he pushed all of the tech that he developed. Like, we wouldn't have modern technology. We wouldn't have those domes, all those screens, and like where you can just cast shit on it later. Without George Lucas, none of that happens.
Well, and I'm not saying either that I only want practical effects.
No. They work.
Because I think the pinnacle of CGI in movies is the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh my God,
Davy Jones.
You still can't beat it.
It's so detailed and then you look at that was made what 2006, 7, whatever it was.
Holds up, and then you go watch the fourth one.
It looks better than movies that came out yesterday.
No, but the jump from for what you're saying is like Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest, jump to the fifth one, which I don't even remember the name of, with
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. The effects are
garbage,
so bad.
Yeah, but I like practical effects, and there's not really a ton of effects.
No. And it works too. It knows what it does. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It gets the job done. The thing with the effects is you feel like you're there with them.
Yeah.
The fights, the stunts, everything feels like this is a guy doing things.
At the end when the ground
it's like
earthquake,
it's actually like panels.
Yeah, actually, or however they did it. I don't know how they. I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah, and probably elevation.
Yeah,
things.
but that was cool. Oh, was it the cat?
I thought it was the cat.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was awesome. Like, I love that. And then the practical effect, was it another CG effect, was the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Like, where the camera you're just like, whoa! I didn't even see that coming.
And when you're watching it, you can kind of tell, because
it's like a board painted green.
And like you can kind of almost see like the
wobbling.
Like wobbling as he's walking on it.
Yeah.
Because it probably is just him in a green. I don't know how they did it, because back then I don't know how that was done.
George Lucas worked his magic.
Yeah. If it was green screen or if it was something else and they superimposed it, I don't know. But they used it when they needed it.
And yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome. It worked. Everything in the movie works for the most part.
And it holds up to the sense that, could they have done it better today?
Of course, but I don't think it would have been better. I think this is a movie of the time.
And I actually sometimes think having limitations is a good thing.
Yeah, it makes you think outside the box in terms of
how
writing.
are we going to show this? And Spielberg is like the master at that. Like, how do we show this?
Well, like, let's take a modern example of that. Let's take the first season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
For the most part, outside of a couple scenes,
it's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good practical effects. You don't even see the Demogorgon and all those scary things and like CG things until like the very end. Like, they'll drip feed it into some of the episodes, so you have like a little stunt or a little cause and effect thing go on. For the most part, all the big stuff happens at the end, and it's practical effects up until that point.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
I also think the human brain, when it comes to, you can tell
when CG's bad.
And when something's real, your brain isn't, that's fake. Your brain accepts that it, I mean, obviously it's probably not real, but your brain is more accepting of it being real when you're watching it. Because
you're like, this is actually happening. You can see the tank treads rolling, and he falls on them and like slides to the left.
Or like at the end of the scene where the dude's aging.
Yeah.
I don't want to say who, because it
was great.
Yeah, it's someone put makeup on
and it was like layer on layer.
Yeah, on layer on layer. Yeah, and each time they cut, he slightly changed a little bit more. Or like, dude, one of the best ones. You ever see The Howling, the horror movie?
No.
Dude,
it was a werewolf change.
Just the freaking.
Is that the one where he's like ripping the flesh off?
Yeah, dude, and like his fingers are growing. Even American Werewolf in London, another great one. Like, I just love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or thriller.
Yeah. But for the most part, the effects in Indiana Jones are practical. They work.
Yeah.
And at no point in time do you believe for better lack of word, you don't just go, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
No, you're like, oh,
I mean, there's probably that person in there that's going to be.
There's the cynic that's in there going, that ain't gonna fucking happen. But for the most part, you're watching it going, haha, that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't feel like it.
And, dude, even in the beginning, those wide, just like in Lord of the Rings, those wide shots, like when they're in New Zealand and they're in the mountains.
They're in the canyon.
In the canyon. And it's a wide shot. And you see everything.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I love about this movie is Spielberg is great at just bringing you into the world.
Yep.
I love that. Or even like in Jurassic Park.
Everything's tied in.
In that opening scene with the raptor, like shoot ha, that whole thing. It just immediately brings you into the world, and that's another aspect of movies I miss, because sometimes when you're watching a movie, there's just simple little things. Even in Back to the Future, just little things. Him growing up in the valley on a skateboard, stuff like little things that bring you into Marty McFly's world.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming I don't know exactly, but I'm assuming Back to the Future was supposed to like kind of represent like the San Fernando Valley or something kind of like that.
I'm assuming so. It wasn't Hollywood. It was more like those quaint little California towns.
Because I lived in Northridge, which is in the valley.
What was it called? It was called Lionsbrook or something like that.
No, Hilldale, I think.
Hilldale.
Yeah.
But then he lived in I think it was called Lionsbrook subdivision.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
So yeah, it's probably Hill Valley or. You would know better than
Porter
I would.
Ranch, Northridge, Chadsworth, that area.
Like he wasn't in the
Park.
He wasn't in the hills. It was like a more
suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah, suburbs.
Yeah, and
but do you want to know what I think the worst set in this movie is?
Which one?
No, I'll save that when we talk about the goods and bads.
Okay.
We'll talk about the goods and bads. But any other works on special effects? Any other last comments?
Not really. I think we pretty much covered it, because I think now it'd just be overkill.
Yeah.